Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and I'm really excited to share with you some banknotes today. Banknotes are great; they take up the whole screen, so in living color here, and then we can look a little closer at specific areas. This style of note is a large size gold certificate, and they made a ton of these in 1907, and they made some of them in 1922. And so here in the corner is your series. Corner is the wrong term for that, I guess. I don't know how a square or a rectangle works because a corner is over here. This is not the corner, but right here is the date 1922. Autographs of Spielman and White, which is a lot of what you're going to see from the teens, 20s, and 30s. And really cool, they've got that golden yellow color for the seal and the serial number. Once again, they've got the date up here, the series of 22. If you guys have played Mario, you know that's this focusing. This is like an entire game right there on one of the Mario games here. Okay, enough about that. And then that big X there, that's for 10. That's the Roman numeral 10. And what's cool about most old banknotes is they have the law kind of written right on them, or some summarization here that this certificate is legal tender in the amount thereof in payment of all debts and dues, public and private, Act of March 14, 1900, as what does this say? This is my vision going bad here, right? As amended, yes, okay, as amended, December 24th, 1919. I'm like, what does that say? Amended. What is that? Oh, amended, that's one word. And what's cool up here is you got the gold coin on the other side, which is fun. And then, by the way, maybe that should be my tattoo. I could get it like an arm band that has just like the gold and the coin in part, like a tribal version. All right, this certifies that there have been deposited in the Treasury of the United States gold coin, $10. PMG called this a VF30, and it's a note that trades for about $300. What's wild about this particular series is they use that golden yellow ink on the backside of the whole thing, and it's kind of a lot. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's a little bit overpowering. But as always, the detail on these is really impressive up close. Once you see what they did with the script and the details. On paper money, one of the things that you're always going to be looking for, you see guys hold banknotes up to the light all the time. And what they're doing when they put the light on the other side usually is they're trying to see if there are any pinholes or any other abnormalities, because that'll help you figure it out really quick. When you put the light up there, that you'll see the pinholes. But we're going to move on. I've got a couple more banknotes to show you really quick here. Next up, the Bank of Italy, charter number 13044. This bank is the bank that became B of A, like the B of A, that people worship at today, right? So the Bank of Italy changed its name into Bank of America, and that Bank of America is the one that we still see today. And you see also that these notes were secured by the United States bonds, deposited with the Treasury of the United States of America. Series of 1902. There's your series up here, series of 1902. And on the back of those, you've got a whole lot more script back here. We're not going to read the whole thing on this one. But, it's got a lot of this is receivable type commentary. You've got the V again here for back to Roman numerals, the V for 5. And this is Columbus's landing, right? The landing, pardon me, of the Pilgrims. I said Columbus. Yes, this is the landing of the Pilgrims. That looks like Columbus. Not. I've had turkey with that guy. Come on now. I know better than that. The landing of the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock on that. And we're just going to take the light one time here and look for pinholes and other things real quick and see, if anything really pops out. get that little speck of light or anything. And you see how you get a kind of a dark line. If I'm too close, you can't really see it. You got to kind of have a little bit of separation. You see those dark lines that go up and down, and one of the things that happens is folds show up. Like this one, the fold's kind of obvious from this side, but sometimes the folds aren't as obvious, and sometimes you can actually see the fold better when you get light from the back side. This note is something that I'd call, also a very fine, a lower grade, very fine, and that's the type of note that's probably a $200 to $300 type note. Last but definitely not least, one of the single most popular banknotes that the U.S. has ever produced. This is known as the Chief, and this is a $5 silver certificate, series of 1899, and there's a lot of different signature combinations on these. Here we got another teehee. We got a teehee Burke on this one. I know I sound like Michael Jackson when I say teehee. All right, but this guy here, similar to the others, I'm just going to go ahead and run the light behind it. I'm getting ahead of myself. We didn't look at the note too closely yet, but just to see if anything really pops up as far as those type of what would you say, pinholes and problems. They affect the overall value of the note. I mean, they don't oftentimes really ruin the value of the note. It just depends on how much is there. So big V for 5, and here's I think we got the series. It's hard to read on these. Act of 1886. Well, that's the act of, and here's the series of 1899. So this goes together with the Black Eagle, which is one of the most commonly collected large-size silver certificates, one of the most affordable ones. This note I would call a fine. I would call it a little bit lower grade than the other ones. It's got a few things going on down here. A little bit of darkness and almost some chipping, heavier folds and some discoloration. I've seen notes like this grade VF20, but to me this is just a fine. Just because there's a lot of wear here. Once again, amazing artwork, $5 silver certificates. You just think about 1890s, early 1900s. Man, what was going on? We were getting near Kitty Hawk. I mean, we're just years away from that. This is what was circulating. This is probably what the Wright brothers paid for parts with notes like these, right? I mean, that's just kind of how I put together U.S. currency and history and U.S. coins and history. By the way, of course, this is like the gold certificate. It actually has a little bit of a similar, let's say similar here. Just the way that it's got the little bit of script right up here, certifying that there has been deposited in the Treasury of the United States. That's similar to this, what's at the top of that. And this one says gold coin on it. And in here you've got silver certificate. It blends in. There's so much going on in these notes that it just kind of blends in. That silver certificate up at the top. But when people talk about having, look at the details. V, 5V, so it's things you don't notice until you really kind of stop and look. But when people start talking about having your money backed by something, they mean the fact that people would spend these, but the government said, "Hey, we've got gold and silver to back this note." So you had, these were almost like miniature loan certificates that went out in public for gold and silver that was actually backed by something, was actually in the bank. Chief's super popular. This is probably a $400 note, something like that, and that's a real popular. His name was Onapapa. I don't know if I said it right or not, but that's how I've always learned how to pronounce it. That's a whole other story for another day. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.